Hello, nice to see you all again. Today we're going to talk about some Hungarian Eurovision songs, and to be completely honest with you, there are less of them than I expected there to be because, Hungary have been participating since 1994 in Eurovision. Of course, they stopped in 2019, but I just realized that they've missed out a bunch of times and just left and came back and just repeated that kind of process a lot of times. So maybe that's a good sign that maybe we will have them back someday soon in the future. I really do hope so because I think you will find out in this video that I'm kind of a kind of a fan of their songs usually. We'll see where I'll place all of these in the tier list today, but without further ado, I think we're just going to get right into it and start with their very impressive debut in 1994, in which they finished fourth, I believe, with a very pretty ballad. I really particularly like the guitar arrangement in this song. I think it's really just intimate and a very personal kind of storytelling type of song, which just really relies on this guitar arrangement in the back that sets the tone beautifully, I think. Also, a very great vocal performance throughout. It's very well staged. Um, just really great. I really do think so. I don't think you can, or well, you can argue whatever you want, but it just works for me. Everything really about it works. So I think it's a really great effort altogether. In 1995, I think they have a little bit of that identity still in there, because this song opens in a really nice manner. I think it sets the tone perfectly. It's very melodramatic. It's quite sorrowful, and then the chorus comes in and just kind of doesn't work like hand in hand with what they've already established in the song, and everything just falls flat. Which is, just a big shame for me personally. I think the vocal performance as well is quite off-putting. Doesn't really work for me. It sounds a bit shaky, not very convincing. Which is a shame because I do like the segments in the opening, like in the first verse and in the verses altogether. I think it's quite strong, but no, I'll put it in I like it, but because I do like the verses in this song, but then they just kind of lose me with the chorus. So yeah, I'll put it in here. 1997, quite an underwhelming song altogether. It's very 90s, very typical. It's, a boy band sitting together singing a very mellow, smooth little pop song. It's solid. It's not much more, I don't really think so, and it's somewhat underwhelming, but at the same time I kind of just feel like it's pleasant. It goes on for the 3 minutes. I have a good time. I don't have much more than that, but it is all right for what it is. I really do think so. So a solid effort, that one. Before 1998 comes along, which has an instrumentation that I'm actually really fond of. I like the whole collective sound of what they're going for here. It's quite mellow. It's also quite just enjoyable, it's very easygoing. And then the vocal performance is anything but that, which just kind of throws me off completely. I think the vocal style they're going for here is, it kind of, if you have this mellow little track of a pleasant soundstage in the instrumental, then you have this vocal just cutting like a razor right through it. Doesn't work. I think it would be fair to them to put it in the same category as 1995, because I do like the instrumental here. And like with the 1995 effort, I don't really like the vocals. I think those kind of kill it. So I'll put them next to each other here. I kind of group them together, I guess. We'll put them down there. In 2005, they returned. So they were out for 7 years or something like that. They returned with a bang. I really do think so. This is, yeah, it's fantastic. I'm gonna put it up here. I really just get so much enjoyment out of this, especially with the whole choreography and everything that goes on stage. I don't think, maybe if you set out the song on its own, listen to a studio cut, maybe you just think that this is really great, it's pretty good. But when I see it live, I just kind of get overwhelmed by how much I enjoy it. The dancing, the choreography, it's incredibly both charming, entertaining, and like a great attention puller, or I get so heavily invested into watching the performance whenever they perform, and it kind of just works in its favor that the song is really catchy as well and has this very unique instrumental approach, which I really like. The melodies are very cool, the rhythms are really engaging, and also the variation within instruments throughout the song is also really pleasant. So yeah, I think that I can't really complain about anything in this one. I think it's fantastic. I really do. Yeah, I gotta put it up there. In 2007, they had Unsubstantial Blues, I believe the song is called. Very passionately performed. The vocal performance is incredibly strong. The song has a nice beat to it, I think. The instrumentation is it's very crisp, it's clear, has a good sound to it, well produced, well put together, well written. Everything's just really great about it. I really do think so. Not particularly my type of music all the way, so I wouldn't really put it up in the top two categories because of my just subjective taste. But I just think that everything they've done here is really great, so I'll put it in that category. Simple as that. In 2008, they missed everything that made the previous songs so good. This is a very slow ballad, very uninteresting, not super convincingly performed. Just not for me. I don't get any enjoyment out of this at all. I don't get any feeling from it either. I'm not emotionally invested into this whatsoever. So just not for me. I don't think there's anything else I can say about it, to be honest, because it's just uninteresting to me. Sometimes it do be like that. 2009, Dance With Me. This is a big what happened here. I don't understand anything about this song. I don't want to understand anything about this song. The performance is incredibly off-putting for me personally. I think he's incredibly creepy and over the top and off-putting. Doesn't help him that the song has a horrendous instrumental behind it. I think the chorus could have, kind of a hint of something catchy in it, something inviting or memorable, but I just get completely... I want to distance myself as far away from it as possible when I listen to this instrumental that backs it up. The club beat is not really my type of thing, and then I see the performance and I want to turn it off visually as well. So a big what happened here for me on this one. I think it's among the absolute worst. I really have to say that. I don't get anything out of this one. Not at all. And then they disappeared again in 2010. Wow, they they move in and out a lot, as I said. But in 2011 they came back with a song that I think is pretty damn great. It's a big shame kind of that the stage performance they have here is incredibly empty, which is just a really big shame because you don't really get a convincing feeling from the whole performance of this song. But I do really think the chorus is very strong. The melody is memorable and also has a really nice tone to it. The vocal melody, with how it moves in the register and the high notes really work in its favor. It's memorable, it's catchy, the backing track is upbeat. Yeah, I think everything's just, or well, everything, but I think most of it is just really great, and then the performance kind of drags it down a little bit, but I wouldn't say drags it down so that it lands in solid. It's not that much of an issue for me personally, but it is a slight just setback, I guess. Then we have 2012, another final performance for Hungary. They went to the final a lot of years here, I think. This is pretty great as well. I really do think so. I like this song a lot, actually. I think the instrumental is very strong in this song. Especially when the instrumental breaks hit after each chorus. I really do like those segments, how the synth kind of gets to take over the melody in the backing track, and how that works with following up the chorus, which I also think has a pretty memorable melody. Not the most convincing of performances, I think. It's a bit underwhelming when you see it on stage, but it's not the massive issue. I just really enjoyed listening to the song, having it on. I will always, hum along to it and enjoy it for what it is. Wouldn't say that it's anything spectacular or anything like that, but I just really enjoy listening to the song. So, yeah, really great one. I think the sound design and the instrumentation of it is really the standout part. I really like the sound of the entire track here. And now we're moving into a completely different category for Hungary, I really gotta say. 2013, Kedvesem. If you're familiar with my channel, you probably already know how much I adore this little song right here. I understand that this isn't really. I mean, a lot of people could probably see this song as a bit underwhelming, a bit flat, and not really see any particular greatness within it. But it's, just my subjective taste here. This song fits like the hand in the glove or whatever. Backing track is incredibly mellow, very smooth, incredibly laid back, which just works so well in establishing a setting. I like how the acoustic guitar is so constant and how this kind of more digital beat gets thrown in with it. There's also a lot of detailing and elements throughout the song, which are quite unexpected, I think. When you hear it the first time, there are a lot of ideas that have been thrown in here, which are unexpected, that sounds that you might not want, like that you might not expect show up in a song like this. I think that's quite creative, and I always just get kind of dragged into this cozy atmosphere that the song has. The vocal style as well is just really pleasant. I like this whispering type of vocal, which really works in the setting that this song has. I think what really just makes everything work here for me personally is how close all of the ideas feel together. There are odd ideas that maybe you feel are kind of unexpected in a song like this, but that's what sets the song apart for me personally. It creates its own little thing, its own little environment, and builds the ideas in here, and everything kind of works just in a great cohesion, I feel. It's quite just an abstract feeling, but sometimes, ideas thrown together works for some people and they don't work for other people. Here, everything that they've done with this song just works for me. I like this whole cozy atmosphere that it creates. And every time I listen to it, it's just 3 minutes of complete bliss. That's really what I feel. I enjoy myself way too much listening to this song, I really do. And a song that I enjoy almost as much, for a completely different reason, is Running from 2014. And I am tempted, and I am gonna just kind of do this, even if maybe no, I'm gonna put this in among the greatest as well. I understand if this also is a bit controversial. I don't know, but this works for me as well. I'm such a sucker for songs like this. It's dramatic to a point where I think some people can kind of see it as overdramatic. Like the lyrical storytelling, it's an incredibly serious topic, which I think needs to be highlighted. I understand if some people could see it as a topic that has been handled poorly by the lyrics in this song, maybe a bit over the top. I just think it's very on point. It's poignant, it works, it's hard-hitting, and how it becomes even more hard-hitting by the way that the song is structured around these lyrics. It's incredibly melodramatic and almost a point over-dramatic, but I also just really love how they incorporate the drum and bass instrumental type into a song like this, because it's kind of unexpected within the context of Eurovision, where I just really appreciated when songs like this are being thrown into the mix. The backing track is high of intensity, incredible amount of intensity, just goes all in throughout with the choruses. The drumming patterns are just hectic, engaging, and how the backing track works with this atmosphere that the instruments of the backing track really provide is quite fantastic. I love the percussive side of this song. And also just the dramatic tone of how the chords move and how the melodies work with the chords. It's just a very well-structured song, I really do think so. And I'm loving every second of it. The performance is also, it could be a bit, on the nose for some people, I guess. But I like the way that it looks. It visualizes the storytelling, enhances it further, almost to a point where it could be over the top. I understand that. For me, it just works, though. I think it's among the greatest. I understand if that's a bit too far, but I just always really enjoy watching this performance and listening to the song. I get very hooked by it and invested into it. 2015 has another song that could really spark a lot of engagement from me as a listener as well. Doesn't quite go all the way for me personally. I do like the emotionally loaded aspect of it. I think the guitar-driven arrangement is very nice. I just don't think the song has enough of a progression to really hook me as a listener. I do like the whole vocal arrangement side of things as well. I like it. I like the stage layout as well. I think this is really great. The song just doesn't have enough of a really grippable. Do you say grippable? Like a moment that you can really latch onto and really connect with when the song actually evolves. When there's like some instrumental variation, something being thrown into the mix that really changes it up and keeps it going, keeps it evolving. That doesn't really happen in this song. Maybe that wasn't the intention either, or it probably wasn't. But I think I need something like that to really connect with this to the absolute max. But what I do really think works for this song is the stage layout, how the vocal harmonies work together. The guitar-driven backing arrangement is very nice as well. Just a lot of great ideas and a solid execution to it as well. I'd place it in really great. Yeah, I would. It's up here, and it's gonna get some company from Pioneer, which I also think is a really great entry. Something that kind of bugs me with Pioneer and has always done ever since 2016, so it's been for 6 years now that I've been bugged by this, is that I enjoy the performance from their national finals so much more. I love the color grading that they have on stage with the yellow and black. I think they work with shadows much better. Everything is too bright in this performance. I really do think so. Which just kind of kills it for me because it is this dark setting for a song. It's very melodramatic. It tries to be very hard-hitting and dominant. And I really just want to see that kind of intensity really get brought forward with it, with the stage layout as well. This is too wide, too open, too bright. I really do think so. It's been bugging me for 6 years, so obviously I'm gonna be upset about it, even though it's probably not something that you really can defend getting upset about. Song is still pretty great, I think. Has a very dominant beat, memorable chorus with a great melody, very solid vocal performance as well, with a lot of power, a lot of intensity to it. Yeah, just really great. I do think so. I gotta say. 2017 comes along. Like, Hungary are in a fantastic streak of songs here, and this is gonna be another among the greatest for me. I've been a bit generous lately, maybe with the among the greatest, but I really just feel so passionately about all of these songs that I put up here. Origo is, it's transformative. It really is. It has its own world. It creates an environment that is quite foreign to a lot of audiences, I believe. Maybe some audiences connect with it. I'm incredibly foreign to it, but I think the way that the song is set up and the atmosphere that it really establishes right from the get-go is enchanting. It really is. It takes me to the place. How they visualize everything on stage is incredibly tangible, I think. I get emotionally hooked and invested into whatever is going on stage. And even though I can't understand the lyrical content of things, you can tell that he sings from the heart, and everything that he sings has a lot of meaning to him. And that is being showcased through the screen incredibly well by this performance. I really do think so. Vocally, very hard-hitting, I'd say, and melodically, just great. The melody in the chorus is one that sticks to your head and just works with this instrumental backdrop that it also has. It has a very unique type of instrumental behind it, so that kind of sets it apart already. And then you have the interesting vocal style. There's the incorporation of the rapping segment in the second verse, which is very hard-hitting, very in your face all the time, which kind of, when you look at it on paper, you think that it might not work. But when I see it, I just get overwhelmed by how much I think it works. So yeah, among the greatest again. Hungary have, as I said before, been kind of good at this whole Eurovision thing, I think. Especially in the 2010s, as you can see. There's a lot of good stuff here. 2018, fantastic. I love rock music, you probably know that. I love rock music when it's done well. I love rock music when it's intense, it's energetic, it's hard-hitting, really tries to just overwhelm you with the emotions that they want to transmit. This goes all out throughout the entire runtime of the song. The riffs are great, the drumming is incredible. I say it over and over. This incredibly engaging and fast paced and intense drumming is just too much for me to comprehend sometimes. But the way that it works with the guitars being so hard driven and the vocals being just emotionally heart wrenching, really just the whole atmosphere that this song creates, it can't really be, shrugged off. I really don't think so. It's so gripping. That's really the word I would say to just describe everything I feel about this. I love every second of it. I'm so emotionally invested into whatever is going on. The intensity of it is really what wins me over as an audience, because rock music can really balance quite carefully on this line between not enough intensity and too much intensity. And if you have too much intensity, which I would say that this song has, it needs to be an even amount of too much intensity within every kind of area, so that there's still a complete transfer of the emotion that they want to contribute and the one that is being received. I hope that makes sense. I think it just works though. Fantastic. That's what I gotta say. And 2019 we have Jussi Papai or something like that. He returns and unfortunately loses all types of magic that I felt from Origo into this one. Overly repetitive hook. It's a big shame. I did like the whistling input that they had in the first version. When I first heard the song, it was the original version, and then they revamped it and removed the whistling segment. And I think the whistling segment was a very nice touch. It was unexpected, and it really had its own identity to it. Now it becomes a bit the same vocal style that he had previously already showcased, an over-reliance on it because it repeats itself over and over. The backing track isn't as engaging as it previously was. It doesn't have the same energy, tries to be more restrained, more mellow. Doesn't work for me personally. I was never too invested into this one, which is kind of odd because I was so incredibly invested into the previous effort. So everything just kind of fell flat here for me. I think I do still like the atmosphere enough to put it in this category here, because I can't put it below these two songs. I do enjoy it, but I just, more than anything, I'm just kind of disappointed by what it turned out to be. And that it didn't really have the same approach that I guess the previous effort had. It was also very well staged, this one, so I think that drags it up a little bit. But that is my Hungarian tier list, and let's just say that sending Dance With Me was probably the best thing that ever happened to Hungary, because they sent just good stuff all over the board after that, in my opinion. As you can see, I don't have anything after that particularly low on this list. But yeah, that's my Hungary tier list. Not a lot of songs, but still enough for me to talk for 23 minutes. I never cease to amaze myself. Do tell me what you think of the Hungarian songs in Eurovision. Do you also have 3 that you would place in among the greatest, or maybe that's just me that is just I have an over love for Hungary in Eurovision, I guess. So it makes sense that I really want to see them back. Do you want to see them back? You probably want to see them back. But is Hungary a country that you desperately want to see come back? Then tell me. And tell me what your favorite Hungarian song in Eurovision is. Of course, that would be nice to see, if it's any of my 3 choices or if you have something completely different. I just hope no one has Dance With Me as their favorite Hungarian song, because then we disagree quite heavily, and I mean, it's fine, but I just wouldn't understand you, and you would have to explain why Dance With Me is the best thing that you've seen from Hungary. Yeah. Bye-bye.